The Central Intelligence Agency has its fingers in many pies, from counterterrorism to offensive cyber operations and covert paramilitary actions. The mere mention of the CIA brings with it a certain mystique, conjuring up images of secret agents, globe-trotting spies, and clandestine activities. It's no surprise, then, that the agency has featured heavily in numerous Hollywood movies, from Spy Game and Zero Dark 30 to The Bourne Identity and Bridge of Spies. The CIA was formed in 1947 by President Harry Truman, partly as a replacement for the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, which was disbanded after World War II. As a civilian intelligence service and part of the U.S. intelligence community, it is officially tasked with gathering, processing, and analyzing national security information from around the world. Unlike the FBI, the CIA has no law enforcement function. It's also not allowed to collect information regarding U.S. persons, although the agency's actions have often proven controversial in that regard. Unsurprisingly, the CIA has kept, and uncovered, many secrets over the decades. Here are some of the most fascinating secrets from the agency's history, from innovative spy techniques to daring covert missions. 1. The CIA had plenty of secret gadgets. The CIA created a range of secret gadgets that could have been straight out of a James Bond movie. The extensive list of low and high-tech trickery includes hollow silver dollars for holding messages or film, miniature compasses hidden in cufflinks, pigeon-mounted mini cameras, a listening device designed to look like tiger excrement, and a robot fish called Charlie that secretly collected water samples. Perhaps most impressive of all was the Insectothopter, a tiny robotic dragonfly that could eavesdrop on otherwise inaudible conversations. 2. The CIA used the skyhook before Bond and Batman. In 1962, the CIA launched a mission, codenamed Project Cold Feet, to investigate an abandoned Soviet research station on a floating ice island in the Arctic. Getting there was easy enough. 2 Navy pilots secretly parachuted down onto the ice and began their search for information. The tricky part was how to recover the pilots and the information they had retrieved, as it was impossible to land an aircraft on the ice. So, the CIA decided to use its new Fulton surface-to-air recovery system, colloquially known as the Skyhook. The agents on the ground deployed a helium balloon that lifted a 500-foot line into the air. A slow-moving B-17 plane, with the Skyhook device attached to its nose, then flew overhead and snagged the line with the agents attached to the end of it, sweeping them into the air, at which point they were winched aboard the aircraft. Sound familiar? You might have seen the Skyhook used later by James Bond in 1965's Thunderball and Batman in 2008's The Dark Knight. 3 Anthropologists and archaeologists made great spies. In Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 2008, Indy reveals that he once worked for the OSS, the predecessor of the CIA. This is a believable part of the character's backstory, as the OSS and other intelligence agencies often recruited archaeologists like Indy during World War I and World War II. The same is true for the CIA, which has routinely enlisted archaeologists, anthropologists, art historians, and other academics for intelligence-gathering purposes. It makes sense, as these professionals already have the perfect reason to be conducting fieldwork in foreign countries, and they tend to be somewhat more discreet than Indiana Jones. For some highly trained spies weren't human, animals have been used in espionage since the days of the ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks, who used homing pigeons and dogs to deliver secret messages, the latter carrying missives in their collars. The CIA took things to a whole new level, however, with highly trained non-humans undertaking a range of complex tasks. In a secret 1960s project known as Project Oxygas, dolphins were trained to attach explosive devices to enemy ships. Birds have proved useful, too. Camera-carrying pigeons could take higher quality photos than spy satellites operating at the time, while ravens were trained to deliver and retrieve small objects of up to 1.4 ounces from otherwise inaccessible buildings. The CIA also spent $20 million trying to train cats to eavesdrop while fitted with recording devices. Known as Operation Acoustic Kitty, seriously, the project was eventually abandoned after a feline operative was tasked with listening in on the conversation between 2 men sitting in a park. The cat, totally uninterested in any previous training, wandered off and was hit by a passing car. Feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for following. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with hot news every day.